Mora the Enchantress is my second ever early access bundle pick, and immediately after I got her, I took her to rank 5 Ascended, and I have already put out a lot of content on her, but in this video it's going to be compiling everything I've done with her over the past week, and this is going to be my longest video I've ever made, I'm pretty sure, because I took her into so many pieces of content. And yeah, I'm really hoping you guys are going to enjoy this. I know a lot of people are calling her mid or trash right now, and if you only care about speed, sure, whatever. But if you care about versatility, utility, and threats for longer or more boss-type fights, then she is going to be there for you, and I hope this video will prove that, because I'm not even going to put a single Battlegrounds fight in this video. Just flat out telling you now, there is no BG's content here. There is content from everywhere else, but she's not a BG's champion. If you only care about BG's, don't rank her, unless you want her for defense, which she is a decent defender, just not in this meta, because every science character can kill in 35 seconds. So, once that meta's gone, I think she's going to be an actual threat, but at the same time, you might disagree with me, and you can do that, I feel like, but it's no big deal. We're going to rank her to rank 4 here. She's already SIG 200, and yeah, she is the most complex character in the entire game, as the title says, I think, because there are so many different things that you have to memorize, or you don't necessarily have to memorize, because you can hit the pause button and then it shows you how to input your spells. But still, if you want to know a specific order of activation of spells, you're going to have to use your brain to come up with a specific rotation, which every fight has a different rotation, it feels like. There's a couple basic ones I'm going to break down in this video, but you're going to want to activate your spells differently for many different matchups. And yeah, we're going to start here against Labyrinth of Legends, Miss Marvel, and this is the basic rotation for like the longer fights, because Enchantress is meant to take fights that are like 1,000,000 health and larger. That's where her damage is going to shine the most, because even in longer fights, it's nothing crazy. It's still good. I think it's quite good for the Mystic class as well, for like endgame content. She's very comparable to Wong in that matter, but I think she has more utility than Wong personally. As far as damage goes, I'm not really sure which is better. I think when you can get matchups with Mystic Dispersion activated, Enchantress is the better character. Without it, I'm not exactly sure. I don't have Wong ranked up to compare the two, but you're gonna have Necropolis fights later in this video, so you can see from there what she does. And she has regen like Wong, she has big damage on the SP2s like Wong, she has red numbers like Wong. They're very comparable. But I personally think she has a lot more utility in her kit than Wong does, and sustainability in different ways than Wong does, because Wong's sustainability is like unstoppable and regen mainly, but Enchantress's is regen and like evade, miss, also unstoppable. She has regen in multiple different ways, so I think she's going to be very good for Necropolis stuff. Especially if you get her as a 7-star, because having 7-star challenger rating is a big impact for how she's going to be able to take Necro. So you see the basic rotation where I'm going for 4 purple spells and 4 orange spells, and from here on out we just drop SP2s. The SP2s are just going to do a massive amount of damage each time. And for the orange spells specifically, we went for Incinerates mainly, the Fireball spell, but I went for 1 stack of the Blizzard spell just to keep Labyrinth Evade under control, and that's really the only reason, because as far as her base kit orange spells go, the Fireball one is the most damaging of the 3. So that's why I chose to go for Fireball. That's why I usually go for Fireball most of the time in this video. There is going to be a couple fights where I'm running a synergy that gives her access to a different orange spell, and the different orange spell is actually going to be more damaging than Fireball is, but we'll get to that later. And then as far as purple spells go in this fight, I am using only Charm, because there's no buffs for me to control on Ms. Marvel here. So Charm is going to increase my Power Steal potency, which is obviously going to be very important for spamming special 2s faster. So yeah, you can see the special 2s just do crazy damage once you get them ready. You just have to like ramp up your spells and such first. So we have all We have 4 and 4, and then I didn't even bother to go for green spells, which I will do in other fights, just not the Labyrinth ones. And usually I wouldn't do the green ones for anything under like 3 million health. Unless, specifically, you want the tankiness, which we're going to get into later. This is why I'm saying she's so complex, because there's so many different conditions where you might want to change your rotation, or you just flat out will change your rotation to benefit you in that specific matchup. And it's one of the things I really like about her. She's teaching me how to think ahead of what I need for my matchup, and changing my rotation to apply to it. And I really love using characters that make me use my brain and challenge how I think about the fight before going into it. It's part of the reason I'm a big Tigro fan, and I like characters with a lot of math involved, because it's just fun, it's challenging for me, and I enjoy to challenge myself in fights. So that's why I don't play a lot of champs who just do like mindless nuke kind of things. Because they're just not fun to me. I want to use my brain a lot when I'm playing the game, which is just me. I know a lot of people don't like Enchantress because of her complexity, but her complexity is exactly why I like her, because that's just the type of characters I enjoy personally. So we have 3 and 3 right now, and then I'm gonna go for 4 and 4 in a moment. And I'm showing you this Old Man Logan fight because this one is a big example of Mystic Dispersion impacting how fast her ramp goes. Because this fight, while we don't have class advantage, is actually going to be faster than the Miss Marvel one. And that's just very interesting with how she functions with Mystic Dispersion sometimes. And here I'm even going to go for more spells just because I know I'm going to have so much power, so I might as well. And yeah, we activated a bunch of the different buffs, control spells, like the Nullify one and the Atrophy one, just to make Mystic Dispersion even faster. And you saw there when I used a heavy attack, I was able to cancel my SP3, which is a really fun piece of utility in my opinion, because sometimes characters' rotations just get ruined, especially when they're Mystics, and then you accidentally go to SP3. That's why a lot of the recent Mystics have had ways around that, like White Tiger is another example. So it's a really nice design space, really nice design choice as well for some of the recent Mystics out there. And I went red there just because I didn't expect it, but it's fine. We get another charm. Like this, the damage. There's the power steal from the charm is completely crazy, and the charm is increasing my Mystic Dispersion as well. I'm pretty sure. I can't confirm that, but I think that's a way it works. So. Alright, next up, we're gonna fight Summer of Suffering Destroyer. And this is a really nice showcase of Enchantress's charm spell, because not only does charm increase my power steal potency, it just decreases power gain potency in general. So once Destroyer inevitably hits his power gain state, if we have charm active, he's just not gonna gain power. So it ends up being absolutely perfect control, and we don't have to worry about that at all. Like me not being able to dex the special one there, who cares? It's not a big deal. All I need to do is just make sure I have a charm debuff active when he's going to start power gaining, and then I don't have to worry about that aspect of the fight. Other aspects of the fight I won't have to worry about is oftentimes the unblockable, because again, she has 3 different forms of buff control: Nullify, Atrophy, and Neutralize. We're going to use all 3 of them here in unison to counter the unblockable node, which we can't always counter it with 100% effectiveness, but that's fine. We don't always need to counter it with 100% effectiveness. Sometimes we just need to make it to where he's not unblockable just all the time, and we can get our openings to where it's just not something we have to worry about. So I'm going to reactivate all of my buff control spells right there, and now we're going to start ramping the damaging ones, while those buff control spells have increased duration and increased potency. So we have plenty of uptime on those while we're ramping the damaging spells, and then we're going to go for another SP2 right after that, obviously. So activate Fireball, because again, the most damaging of the 3, so that's the one that I want to go for the most. And then yeah, he activates Power Gain, and Charm is active, and you can see Power Gain is doing literally nothing, because the Charm debuff is incredible. It's one of the reasons I think having your Enchantress awakened is actually huge. Like, 7-star Enchantress unduped does not nearly have as much utility as 7-star Enchantress duped because of how powerful that charm debuff is. It just makes your ramp that much easier, and it makes your power control that much better. So, obviously she has crazy power steal every time she hits the opponent with a light or medium anyway, which is one of my favorite things about her, because that power steal is really good. Like, you decrease the amount of specials your opponent is throwing and increase the amount of specials you are throwing by that much as well, just an immense amount. And so it's just really fun. Special spamming characters are always a fun time to use, just because special attacks, especially when they have big yellow and red numbers like Enchantresses do, they're always fun to throw off. So yeah, again, we're just spamming SP2s at this point. He gains unblockable, we don't really care, and then we go for an SP2, drop it, does some nice damage. I could have even ramped like some more spells if I wanted to for extra attack, because the attack rating increase continues to go up on the SP2 until you hit 12, so 6 and 6 would be the maximum amount of attack increase I could have on my SP2. However, when you do the reactivation of your spells, and you reactivate when your purple spells are the most, your damaging spells, they will always reactivate. Like, they don't have an actual cap to them. So if I have, say, just randomly 18 orange spells, I'm going to activate 18 Incinerates, assuming I had enough purples to go with it to reactivate everything. So if you somehow went 18 purples and 18 oranges, you could have 18 Incinerates reactivated, even though the attack rating stops at 12 spells. So, in a way, going above 12 spells is still worth it, and you're going to see that in the Necropolis fights. So, next up we're going to fight Eternity of Pain Hercules, and this is a fight I just like taking for a lot of champs, because it's a very interesting fight to show off, because Herc is just a weird fight sometimes. And Enchantress, we're going to try to use her buff control here. However, a lot of times the buff control doesn't really apply, because in this fight he has Force of Will, so he's immune to neutralize, and the Nullify effects also have a 95% chance to fail. So what we're instead using is just the Atrophy. And the Atrophy is a 30% reduction of duration of buffs, and if you activate it with your SP2, because the SP2 doubles the potency of your buff control spells, it's going to be a 60% duration reduction in buffs. So once we get the Atrophy rolling a lot with the SP2, then yeah, it's going to be very impactful in how we're able to control the indestructible and unblockable, and then eventually the immortality at the end of the fight. So anyway, we are gaining a lot of power, even though, you know, Energize is hindering it, because the power steal obviously is independent to combat power rate. So even though a lot of characters' combat power would be reduced in this fight, Enchantress's power steal is not only just consistently lowering Hercules' power gain, it's also increasing my own by that much as well. Power steal is just awesome. So we're going to go for an SP2 here. I drop it into the indestructible, unfortunately. I probably should have just timed that better, but at least we get the Incinerates at the end, and I'm going to go for it right here. Get some nice crits, and then the Incinerates are really nice at the end. And obviously the ability accuracy reduction portion of the fight is very frustrating, because it can't fail the spells, but it can fail the spell effects. So for instance, I can still cast a wilt spell and gain the purple effect on my side of the screen, but the ability accuracy reduction can fail the Atrophy applying from the wilt spell. So all of that's to say, when you drop an SP2, just make sure that you don't have ability accuracy reduction active. But when you're dropping an SP1, usually it doesn't matter too much if he has Infuriate on you, because while you might not get the wilt from the SP1, when you reactivate it, it's more potent anyway. That's when it really matters. So, alright, next up we're going to fight Eternity Pain Dormammu, and I'm showing you this fight just because it's another example of when her power gain can just go crazy, kind of like against the Old Man Logan, because when Enchantress has better access to power gain, and you can just increase the speed at which you're activating spells, it's just crazy. And also, the buff control is just so good here, because not only do we want to get rid of that energy resist node as fast as possible, we also want to do everything we can to prevent Footloose and the stun immune node from triggering. So we have Neutralize to help with that, we have Atrophy to help with that, we have just flat out Nullify to help with that, and just like that, all four of my spells are activated. So now it's just about getting my damaging ones activated, and then I think I'm gonna go for an SP2 before that, just to reactivate all of my buff control spells with their increased potency. So here I go for it. They're all back. They all have increased potency. I failed both the evade and the unstoppable, and then the stun immune barely lasted any time. So now we're gonna go for fireball spells, get the damage ready, and just keep going for the SP1s. We need 3 more of them to get all of the fireballs activated, and then we're just going to spam SP2s, and he's going to die very shortly after. So we obviously have the degen from the No Surrender node helping us out here, but even if that wasn't here, he'd last maybe like 20 more seconds after. Or this fight would be like 20 more seconds in length, I should say. So also, the node has Prey on the Weak, so anytime one of those placebos or a dex buff expires, he would be gaining power. We have the Charm debuff to handle that. So once again, the Charm debuff's power control is just so good. And yeah, we're going for a bunch of damage on that special attack right there. And then he's going to drop his special real quick, and once again, failed Footloose. And then the stun immune barely lasts any duration. So drop another SP2, and this is gonna kill him. Yep. So there we go. Eternity Pain Dormammu, absolutely rinsed. Beautiful fight on her part, in my opinion. And then we move on to a Crucible fight, actually. We're gonna take this Red Goblin here, because once again, anytime the opponent has buffs, you can take advantage of Mystic Dispersion. You just get your spells activated that much faster, and everything is fine and dandy in Amora's world. So we are gonna start with the Nullify spell or Charm. We're gonna start with Charm, and then I go for Nullify, which is called Dispel. And then once we start nullifying buffs by being close to him, then we just are gonna be cooking with gas for sure. And so we're gonna go down, up, down, and that's gonna trigger the Nullify. And the reason you're gonna see me dash in during Red Goblin's special attacks is because the Nullify spell works to where every 4 seconds you're close to the opponent, you're going to Nullify. So we want to stay as close to him as possible, and that's why we're going to dash in during his special attacks. And also, why the heck not? Like, it's not actively doing anything bad. So, because Red Goblin is Incinerate immune, we're just going to go for the Blizzard spells, which, you know, do less damage, but not by, like, a lot. So, another nice example of her versatility. Even if they're Incinerate immune, you're fine. Even if they're Incinerate immune and Cold Snap immune, you're fine, because you could just go for the Shock one. And yeah, so we're gonna continue to activate spells, and then we're gonna drop an SP2 here, and then I think I'm gonna go for 1 more of each before I spam SP2s for the way out. And yeah, we're gonna go for Antipathy, just to neutralize, just fail some of those Furies from triggering, because it's not like we need him to have a crazy amount when he already has 25. So yeah, he has 35 Furies now, and then it's just time to drop SP2s. They do crazy damage, and then we have Cold Snaps afterwards and Frostbites afterwards, which are just helping out a lot. So there we go. Not much to say, because we're just dropping SP2s to finish out the fight at this point. And then, yeah, this is the only Crucible fight I have, because I didn't really feel like doing the quest a lot. But a quest that I did feel like doing a lot, which we're going to see in the next fights, is a Grandmaster's Gauntlet run, because there were quite a few fights in there that she was just really good for. And I'm excited to show you guys those fights right now, starting with Gauntlet Weapon X. And for this fight, we are running the Lady Deathstrike synergy, and that gives me access to a brand new spell. It's called Poison Spray. It is down, down, up, and it activates 3 poison passives. And you don't need it for this fight because you could just still fireball him through, but it makes the fight a lot faster because you can reduce his regen rate only through poison. So there I can see new evocation spell is down, up, down, and then why do I have the fight still paused? Hello? Okay, there we go. I forgot about that. Anyway, so the easiest way, and really the only way, to control Weapon X's healing is through poison or heal block. So he's immune to Petrify and immune to, like, Spectre and stuff, so that's not going to work. And then Despair does nothing, so we are just going to activate Poison Spray. I have absolutely no idea why I went for Fireball, because I want to be using Poison Spray here. And then there, like, game lag or something, I think, messed me up. Luckily, it's fine. She recovers from her SB1 very fast, so I couldn't get caught by Weapon X, so not a big deal. Activate Charm now, get my special attacks spammed faster. And at this point, we're going to go for mainly just Charm. I think Charm is the only purple one I go for, because I don't have any buff control, because he has no buffs. So anyway, we're going to activate some poison sprays, and probably going to go for just 4 and 4, maybe some more than that, but I think 4 and 4 makes sense. And yeah, at that point, he's going to die shortly after. Go for Charm again, and then 1 more of each, and then we're going to be ready to nuke him. So you're going to see the poison damage is just very good once we get the SP2s going, because for some reason, like, her most powerful damaging spell damaging spell is in a synergy, which I get because it's like, okay, it makes it more enticing to run her with synergies, but also I kind of wish it wasn't. Sometimes synergies are just a pain to bring along. Obviously, they don't apply to Battlegrounds, although I wouldn't really be using Enchantress on BG's attack anyway. But, yeah, sometimes I just wish that was in her base kit, but at the same time, it's so good to where it's just worth bringing Lady Deathstrike along, and Lady Deathstrike is a good champion in general, so it's not like it's a pain or anything. It also is also tied to Psylocke and a coming soon champion, which I'm like 90% sure that's like Spiral, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Spiral, and Spiral would probably come out in November. But that's just a crazy guess on my part. But I think I'm right, so we'll see in November. And then he's just gonna die from the poison damage. Like, yeah, the poison damage is just very good. It just really is. I'm surprised they gave like 3 poison debuffs instead of just 1 like the other stuff. So next up we're going to fight Gauntlet Korg, and I'm speeding this fight up because it is a very long time, and also just because I don't play this fight very well. But she's nice for this fight because you obviously have evade control when you are placing the Cold Snap, and don't throw it into his Purify like I did, because then you don't actually get to have it, but if you actually let it tick on the opponent, then they can evade. So try it like that next time. Anyway, let's see what I do here. Obviously, you don't have like 100% uptime on it. It's better once you get like SP2s throwing. So you obviously, I really just let all those fall off, didn't I? Okay, I somehow missed the XP1 dex, and then I lost all my evocation spells. So that's great. This is what I mean when I said I messed this fight up a lot. So it's sped up for a reason. But anyway, she's actually quite good for this fight. You have easy access to heavy attacks, so removing Hurt Locker is not very difficult. And also, she's all energy attacks, so Korg can't do Thorns damage to you. Here I go for an SP2, start placing those Cold Snaps again, and I assume I'm going to go for more spells. There's no way I just stick with 3. I'm sticking with 3 and 3. That was a decision for sure. I don't know why I didn't go for 4 and 4. I played this fight so weird, so that's why it's taking so long. You should have gone for like 4 or 4, or even 5 and 5. Don't follow my advice here. It was just dumb. So that's why this fight took so long. But either way, she's controlling it very well, even though it's not very fast. And again, it's not fast because I played stupid, but either way, we go for heavy tech there, remove some of his hurt locker stuff, and then I'm gonna go for heavy blizzard, plays the cold snaps again, and yeah, the fight is just going on and on and on. And he's got a bunch of the gauze wrap charges, but it's whatever, so not a big deal there. I got intercepted because the AI just sucks. I'm just doing a regular intercept and it doesn't work, but whatever. Now it's time to get our blizzard spells going again. This fight took so long. Oh, man. Well, she's good for the fight. It's just like, don't play it like I did. Either way, he's almost dead now. And then we're going to move on to the next gauntlet fight. I have a lot of gauntlet fights recorded, so now that one's over, we don't have to speed up any other fight in this video, I promise you. So, next up we're going to fight Black Panther Civil War. This was a really fun fight, because it's like Dormammu, where it's got Footloose, so once we can start failing those buffs, or just making them shorter, or nullifying them, it's just a really good time. And I completely forgot he'd be unblockable at the start of the fight, so that was a bit of a mistake, but it's all good. I'm going to go for Charm, of course. I usually like to start with Charm, just because it makes all my ramp that much faster. And now we're going to go for Wilt, make those armor ups and Footloose things he's going to get shorter. And then we're going to go for Dispel, and then finish it out with Antipathy. Gonna recast right there. Which is fine. Ideally, I go for like another SP1 before I recast, but we have so much Mystic Dispersion anyway, it's not a big deal. There, I went for Antipathy. I need to check my spells just to remind myself real quick, but it's all good. And then Dispel, lastly, which I probably should have done Dispel before Antipathy, but whatever. And now let's start doing fireballs. I probably should have been doing Poison Spray because I had the synergy, so why not? But I just didn't for some reason, and it's not a big deal. Am I going to go for Poison Spray later in the fight? Well, let's see. We're going to recast first. All of our buff control is back active, and now we're going to go for some either fireballs or Poison Spray. What am I going to do? Chain light. Why am I doing Chain Lightning? Was I just being stupid? I should be doing Poison Spray. What am I doing? There's Poison Spray. Okay. Maybe it was like an accident. I just forgot what Poison Spray was when I did Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning is like the worst of the three in my opinion, but I don't know. Anyway, what am I going to do? Am I going to go for more spells or just SP2 spam? Probably SP2 spam. I've got enough buff control and enough damage from the poisons to where that's really all I need. He gains the Unstoppable, but it's really short, so free Mystic Dispersion almost. And then we go for another Rain of Fire with those Meteor Showers on the SP2. And it's just doing plenty of damage. Like, this guy's just melting at this point. We nullify that armor up right there. He's just dead. Like, once she gets going, man, she's so good for these kind of health pulls. Yeah, I love her for Grandmaster's Gauntlet and Eternity of Pain, Spring of Suffering, kind of Spring of Sorrow, Summer of Suffering type content. So, obviously, I showed her against Destroyer. I really hope next week's is one I can have fun with Enchantress for too, because she's just really fun for these types of health pulls again. So, next up, we're going to fight Nightcrawler. And obviously, it's kind of like Korg, where I can control his evade decently with the Cold Snap, because while you can't control Nightcrawler's evade with ability accuracy, you can control it with Cold Snap. So, and also this Nightcrawler is unduped, so you probably could control it anyway, because I'm pretty sure that's tied to his Sig ability. I don't really know why he's unduped here. I don't know if that was a change after he got buffed or what, but either way, Blizzard's active now, so it's time to start evade controlling, and gonna go for Dispel probably. Oh, I think, what was I doing there? I think that was a misinput. I definitely did not, it said random spell selected, so I obviously didn't mean to do Fireball. I'm pretty sure I wanted to do Dispel, and then I was like a missed input or something. In case you're wondering how I tend to activate my spells, I like to do it with my right hand and my right thumb, just swiping on the right side of the screen. That's just what's easiest for me. It might be easier to activate them for you in a different way, but that's like the easiest way I've been able to do it. Why am I not going for Dispel? Watching myself in hindsight's weird sometimes. Am I going for Dispel now? Yeah, now I'm going for Dispel. I'm gonna get hit because, yes, because I threw it into his Evade, which I just throw it when he's stunned, Crest. Like, come on. But either way, we're nullifying buffs now, and I'm gonna go for the reactivation, and then I might go for more spells, or I might just stick with 3 and 3. We'll see. So obviously that Incinerate was on accident, but the other ones, you know, we want them there. The Blizzard, we want that there. The Dispel and Charm, we want that there, obviously. And yeah, now it's just about bursting him down as fast as we can. We have some nice Mystic Dispersion. And yeah, I think I like the idea of only going for 3 and 3 here. Just keep the Blizzard up, and he's going to die very shortly after. He doesn't have like the craziest health pool or anything, so once his Evade is gone, Nightcrawler's literally nothing. So there we go. And obviously we didn't use any green spells in that fight. This next fight, I think I might utilize some of them. But yeah, we're going against Sasquatch. I think I go green for this fight, because there are some instances where using green is just very good for safety. And like the bigger the health pool is, like the more worth it is going for, because you want as much safety as possible the bigger the fight is. So you obviously have the Untouchable, you have the free evade on knockdowns, you have the Unstoppable when dashing in, you have regen of energy and block damage, so she's just got plenty of ways to be tanky when you activate those green spells. And I did not mean to go for a heavy there. Like, the lag is just disgusting this update. Like, that was never a heavy attack. That special should have never been thrown into his block. The lag is just awful this update, but whatever. We're going for Poison Spray because this has life cycle, so damaging debuffs won't deal damage. And also the poisons are just the most damaging anyway, so considering I don't need any of the other ones, why not go for it, you know? And we go for another Charm, and then I'm gonna start activating my green spells, and then get a nice intercept there. Her light attack is quite nice. We're gonna start with Etherealness because it gives me the Miss and the Untouchable, which is just really nice sometimes. And then I'm gonna go for probably Levitate next, maybe Haste. We're going for Haste, actually. Okay. It's not like it really matters, the order of operations, because we just want to get all 3 of them up so that when we start spamming SP2s, we have all 3 of the unique ones, because the only spells that actually stack when you drop the SP2 are the orange ones, so the damaging ones. So, like, activating Charm twice does nothing on the SP2. Activating Poison Spray twice does. So, either way, we're gonna go for Levitate now, and then probably another stack of Poison, and then another stack of Charm. And you can see, like, Charm is just controlling Power Snack perfectly there, because he's not gonna gain any power. And yeah, it's just a really good time. So go for another Poison Spray. At this point, you saw how quick I activated it, so during this Gauntlet run, I got a lot of practice memorizing the spells, so I got the inputs I need to put in memorized at that point. And that's just something that comes with practice, obviously. Like you saw, I messed up which spells I needed to activate a lot in the last fight, but now I've gotten a lot more comfortable with it. And yeah, Enchantress, she looks complex. If you give her the time, she's gonna feel a lot better. And I feel like I can definitely say that from personal experience, she's just a lot better once you get a lot of practice in, and she's a lot easier to use at that point. So because we have the green spells at the same cap as the other 2, or just the max cap, I should say. Not even max cap. What I should be saying is, like, since the green spells were the highest amount of spells I had. When I drop the SP2, it gives me some healing on it, which is cool. And then I'm gonna go for 4, 4, and 4, which is gonna be the max damage increase on the SP2. So that's really awesome, and I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna stick with 4, 4, and 4. And then Sasquatch is gonna be dead shortly after I start nuking him with SP2s. He's in Wrath now. I get a nice light intercept there, and then I'm gonna drop an SP2 right here. He's gonna start regenning. We don't care because we have Poison Spray. Poison Spray is just so good, really good synergy, and Lay Death Strike again is a good champion in general, so it's not like it is a hassle to bring along. So drop another SP2, and this doesn't kill him, which is good because life cycle triggers, and then the poisons finish him out. So there we go. Gauntlet Sasquatch got destroyed there. And then lastly, the last gauntlet fight is going to be against this Nick Fury here. And Nick Fury also has a power gain node. It's Kinetic Transference, which is really annoying when he drops his SP1, obviously. But you get one guess as to what is going to actively help prevent that. Dude, look at the lag. That heavy was never supposed to be released. I never charged a heavy, and it just decided I did. So yeah, you can guess what is going to control the Kinetic Transference node, and if you guessed Charm debuff, you're correct. So, Poison Spray there, and then I'm probably going to go for Dispel soon, maybe Wilt. We're going to see what I do. I'm going to go for the Relic first, actually. And then I'm going to go for a heavy. I want to activate another SP1, and go for Poison Spray, and then I might just go for another Charm debuff. It would be beneficial to go for Dispel or Wilt. We're going to see what I actually do. And Charm again. Okay, that's fine. I might go for the buff control ones a little later. Get a nice intercept there. And just, I love that heavy attack, just canceling the bars of power I don't want. It's so nice. There we go. Catch him with another SP1. Activate another Charm. Why am I not going for buff control? Like, it's just free Mystic Dispersion if I use Wilt or Dispel. There's Dispel. Okay, I finally went for it. Maybe I activate a Wilt later. We'll see. I guess Wilt is, it's helpful, but not necessarily needed. So, another Poison Spray, and I think 4, 4, and 4 was all I decided to go for in this fight, so we're going to burst him down from here. Heavy attack, cancel my special 3, drop the SP2, bad crit RNG, but the poisons are just doing crazy damage. So, not to worry about that at all, and then we're going to go for another SP2, and yeah, I'm not even going to go for Wilt. In hindsight, it would have made sense to go for Wilt, but not a big deal. And then, I remember the second life, something stupid happened, and then I lost my evocation spells. Not evocation, the other ones. Or was it evocation? I think, no, it's the enchantment spells, the purple ones. And then the fight just takes a long time to finish out because of that, but it is what it is. Like, he throws an unblockable SP1, I think, when I was clearly holding block, and obviously I have to get hit by it. Yeah, so I don't know the full dex. I only took one hit, too. I was so close. So that really sucked. Am I gonna try to activate them again, or am I just gonna spam SP2s? I'm just gonna, yeah, I think spamming SP2s is what I'm gonna do. I don't reactivate the poisons, which sucks, but whatever. I don't have the Charm debuff to mess with Kinetic Transference, so yeah, just eating the SP1 made the fight like an entire 45 seconds longer. But it is what it is. Drop SP2 here. Nice crit rate on the special. No poisons afterwards, just sucks, but it's whatever. We drop another SP2, and he's at 3%. He's gonna die in just a second. Again, this just takes so much longer than it needed to because of that SP1 that he threw at me. But it's fine. I kinda dislike how easy it is for you to lose spells when playing her. Because while I know it's like tied to her defensive mechanics, it's really annoying on attack sometimes. Like when you just lose all of your spells, all that ramp, just because you ate a special on accident like that, or you got intercepted because AI sucks, you're not really getting your heavy punished ever, so the green one's not a big deal to worry about. But either way, it's annoying sometimes. But now we're going to show off some Alliance 4 fights. I only have 2, because I only took her to 1 off-season Alliance 4, but there were 2 really nice fights in my opinion. We're going to start with Node 42 Gorr, and this fight is really fun, because he has so many buffs for us to control. So much power gain we're going to get from Mystic Dispersion. Obviously start with Charm, and we're going to go for 4 and 4 maybe. 3 and 3 would make sense as well. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. But either way, he has easier access to his special attacks because of the Inevitable Power node, which is actually to our benefit because it gives us easier openings when we can just counter his specials that easy. And the Power Steal is also making sure that nothing goes out of hand. So there I go for the Neutralize, which probably the least useful of the buff control ones in this fight. Well, maybe, no. Dispel will be least useful because you can't nullify with Inevitable Power. I already activated Wilt, and it would be nice to get another Charm active because it fell off, but I might not choose to do that. I might just go for an SP2. And then, you know, it's going to be a very good time from there. So, he throws an SP1. Obviously One Eye Open is here, so it kind of makes me not want to use my heavy attack sometimes. However, if it happens, if I need to use a heavy attack, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not like her heavy attack really does any damage, so we wouldn't be taking a lot of damage back in retrospect. So, anyway, I'm probably going to go for an SP2 here. There was a world where I'd go to 4 and 4, but 3 and 3 is fine. So yeah, we're going to have plenty of damage anyway. Go for a heavy attack there because I have the spacing mastered. And I want to bait an SP1 from him. He goes for it, and now we're ready to go for the kill. So, drop the SP2s. His health just got... That was like half of his health in that one SP2. The Incinerates are ticking, and we've got a lot of Despair, Neutralize, Wilt, a bunch of stuff. Go for a heavy attack, and then this next SP2, I believe, kills him. If not, the Incinerates afterwards do. And yeah, just, there we go. He just got destroyed. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it takes some time to ramp, but she just finishes the job once she gets that SP2 ready. So, and then next fight, one I've made a video on before. This is against Node 46 Serpent. I had some comments saying, like, just use Kushala, just use Chavez, just use Sim Supreme. One, Sim Supreme does catch bans in Tier 1. 2, I've seen multiple Chavezes in my own alliance die there, which you could just say is skill issue, but whatever. And then Kushala, I've also... I don't know if I've seen Kushala die there. Kushala obviously is a great option for this fight. And I'm not saying Enchantress is the best option for this specific Serpent. I think as Serpent's health pool goes up, Enchantress's counter value goes up. But also I just thought this fight was really cool. Not saying it's the best option. It is something I might assign myself in Season War. If my Enchantress doesn't go on defense, that is. But we'll see. Either way, she's very good for this fight. She's just very good for Serpent in general. I'm going to eat an SP3 in this fight because I'm stupid, but also I didn't activate an invul boost, and there's no reason to not use an invul boost in this fight, so if it was in Season War, I would be doing that. I just don't want to waste the item in off-season, obviously. So, now we're going for some of the green spells, which I might not have needed to really do, but they actually were really nice in this fight. You're going to see me, like, eat a hit, and then... Look, my Dispel nullified his True Focus, and then the Untouchable caught a beam hit, and then I even evaded the last hit of his SP1. So, like, just her safety is so good for Serpent. It really is. It's part of the reason I think she's so good for him. So, we get a Fear on ourselves because we triggered Unstoppable, but who cares? We would have gotten a Fear on ourselves anyway if he dropped an SP1, so... Keeping him in the corner this consistently is so hard to do against Serpent, and she's just doing it masterclass wise. Like, her animations are very good at pushing the opponent to the wall, and just the ability that she can spam special attacks as much as she does just helps out so much as well. So, oh, also power control, because she's very good at that too. Like, I could make like a TED talk on every reason Enchantress is so good for Serpent, and people wouldn't care still because she is a bit slow. So, like, oh man, BG's brain rot is so real. Anyway, we drop SP2s here. They're gonna do some nice damage. They are a little bit hindered because of Serpent's stupid ability where he reduces the effectiveness of instant damaging effects, which, in my opinion, that would be like the first thing I'd touch against him in his rebalance period. And I would keep it, but not against Mystics. I think Mystics should have their instant burst damage still there, but that's just me, and I wouldn't be like insanely annoyed if he didn't get that removed. I just don't like it. Anyway, we're just dropping the SP2 barrages at this point. We keep reactivating the Wilt spell, which is the more important one for his final phase, because we reduced the duration of his death immunity by 60%. And there is my mistake, like, just beta special before trying to go for the kill when he's got death immunity grass. Like, it was stupid. So we lose all of our spells, but luckily he's almost dead, so we're gonna get the solo still. But, like, come on, man, why was I that dumb? Anyway, he's dead, and we got the solo, and again, invul boost. I've also heard people say, invul boosts don't work for Serpent. Yes, they do. He gets a power gain afterwards, but we'd also use Wilt on that, so Wilt OP. We'd also use Charm on that, so Charm OP. Like, there's no downside to using an invul there against Serpent. Like, do your research before you comment. Like, why are you stupid? Anyway, next up we're gonna fight Necropolis Red Goblin, and I'm running the Poison Spray synergy only because again, it's the most damaging, and you need the extra damage for this fight when you're using a 6-star. If you get a 7-star Enchantress for when she rolls in the Titan, or we're just lucky beforehand, you do not need the Poison Spray synergy at all. She's gonna have enough damage without it. But because of the Challenger rating being like 100 points less than the 7-star, we can't kill him before he goes Power Steal immune. And that would not be the case if we were playing a 7-star Enchantress, so you do not need the Poison Spray synergy if you have her. If you're playing the 6-star, you will. Just flat out, it's unfortunate. But also, if you're fine with doing a Necropolis path of like 1 revive fights, like a 6-star Enchantress is still going to do a lot. Like, I tested her against Odin, which is going to be the next fight. She destroyed it. I tested her against Claire the fight after. She couldn't kill Claire because of the Challenger rating issue, but she controlled the fight so well, and I think she'd be pretty good for Shang-Chi as well. Like, the entire Invert Controls path, I think she'd be really nice for. So yeah, Enchantress is going to be a good Necropolis champion. I just think for soloing, you need the 7-star because of Challenger rating, just flat out. It's fine. In this fight, we go for all of the buff control spells, obviously, and then all 3 of the green spells, and then for the orange ones, I'm going to go for only Poison Spray. I might do a different one on accident once in a while. We're going to see. Actually, okay, so there is a reason to go for a shock here. I think I might go for 1 shock spell later in this fight. The reason for that is because the shock spell, what it does is it has a 55% chance to duplicate itself after it expires. And with the power detonation node and you wanting to have 100% uptime on a damaging effect if you can help it, like there, go for it. Because of the fact the shock is the one that would have the most duration because it has the chance to reapply itself, that is going to help you to be able to keep the power detonation under control the most. And so you saw it reapply itself there, so that's more uptime where I don't have power detonation. And here, I'm going for 6, 6, and 6. Then I'm going to drop an SP2. Then I think I go for 7, 7, and 7. And then we're just going to drop SP2s from there on out. So, I believe, if I remember correctly, that's how I went about this fight. And then, once I start dropping the SP2s, I'm going to talk about the utility of how she's got a lot of utility for the fight. So yeah, now I'm at 6, 6, and 6. I can't talk. 6, 6, and 6. And then we're going to go for the SP2s. Activate all of our control spells once again. Buff control, safety control, damaging spells. We get plenty of damage on the crits. 12k per tick poisons. And then I'm going to go for 1 of each after that. So we take some of the power detonation. But that shouldn't be happening again once I start spamming SP2s. So I go for Wilt there, and then I'm going to go for another stack of Haste probably, and then I'm going to go for 1 more Poison Spray, and then we're just spamming SP2s, and then he's going to die. So anyway, the damage obviously is very, very good. Once you get all these spells going, we have obviously 21 is a lot. But that's because these are the biggest health pools in the game, so we want to go for a lot if we can help it. So anyway, we drop SP2, and what SP2 is going to do, it's going to reactivate all the spells, and so that's what the purple side does, reactivate everything, buff controls with spells with double potency. Reactivating the green ones, what that's not only going to do is give us some regen during the special 2, like we healed back 6% of our health there, which is really nice considering how spammable the special 2s are. But then reactivate all of our safety spells. We reactivate Untouchable, Unstoppable on dash attacks, Evade during knockdowns, Regen during block damage, Regen during energy damage. And then the other effect it would reactivate is immunity to reverse controls, which doesn't have any effect for this fight, but it would for the reverse controls path, obviously. Like there, I just blocked the SP2 because I freaking can, and you just saw, like, it just took no damage. It's so good. Anyway, and then we evaded the tail end, which I believe the evade, like, isn't even tied to chance, like a lot of the spells are. I think it's just like a guarantee to evade knockdowns, which is so good. So, yeah, there we go. Evade on the knockdown, recast, and yeah, we recast the poisons, obviously. And that's just really nice because the poisons are a lot of damage. Like, we're doing 14k per tick, and then we want to reactivate the shock if we can help it, because that's just going to give us the most uptime on keeping a power detonation off of us. So yeah, we just block the SP2s. We might miss a couple hits too because we have the Untouchable, and I'm gonna go for the Dex like a little bit later, but like until my health like drops below like 60% health, I'm just gonna block them because I freaking can and don't take a lot of damage from it. Mystic Dispersion's really nice here. We keep nullifying or just having the buffs expire, whether it be Energize, Aptitude, or Fury, and then it's just giving us more spammable uptime on the specials. So there. We did get a power detonation on us, it's whatever, who cares. Just keep dropping the SP2s, they just do so much damage. They do so much damage afterwards. Her damage is just so good when she's ramped, it really is. And yeah, I think she's going to be very good if you haven't done your Necropolis clear, and then eventually for like future endgame content, and also like just big boss content like Summer of Suffering, stuff like that. I think she's just very good for. So anyway, I'm going to start wrapping the video up. I'm going to have like another Necropolis fight, but I probably won't talk about it because I already did it in a solo video. I'm just going to start wrapping the video up here. In summary, I love Enchantress. She's one of my favorite champs to play. Just because of her complexity, because of her versatility, because of just how many different utility pieces you have in this kit, and then the damage just feels very good for the longer fights. Where she's going to shine, BG's defense she'll be good for when science champs can't kill in 35 seconds like they can this meta. And then Alliance War she'll have uses for, I think. I've already shown some pretty cool war fights. So if you didn't think they were cool, fair enough, but I think they were cool. And then I think she's just very, very good for a lot of the future, probably Spring of Suffering. Getting them mixed up. Spring of Sorrow, Summer of Suffering, that type of content, she's going to be very good for, I think. And then the next endgame content, she's also going to be very good for. Grandmaster's Gauntlet, she's very good for that quest. Incursions, I think there's potential for her in Incursions, maybe. She wouldn't be like top 5 Incursions teams to run, but she's going to be doing some fun stuff in Incursions, I think. And yeah, like, I just love this champion. That's kind of the whole purpose of this video. Same thing with when I did the video in arcade, like the massive arcade showcase, just showing the champion off where I think they're best and just enjoying it, because I just want to show off my favorite characters, and Enchantress is definitely one of them. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like, sub, if you're still here like this late in the video. I know it's like gonna be over an hour when the video ends, but if you hit the like and sub button, I'd greatly appreciate it if you feel like it. And then that's gonna be all from me. I'm gonna let this Necropolis Odin fight play out. I'm not gonna talk over it again because I already did the video by itself. If you want to hear me break down the fight, then you can just go check it out. Just search Grass MCoC Enchantress, you'll find it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.